All right, welcome everybody to another episode of At Witt's End. This is episode 26, I believe. I'm Ken. On the other screen is Carson. If you're watching, um, I
If
guess,
you're listening, I'm right here.
yeah, you're. I'm the good-looking voice. Carson's the other guy talking. Um, Carson's 6,000 miles away, but because of time change, it's now 8 hours instead of 9. When do you guys hit the new? When do you guys change your time? Another week,
The
2?
26th, I think. Yeah,
Oh,
next
okay.
Sunday.
It is weird that globally there isn't at least some kind of synchronized changing of the clocks, but I won't even get into that.
Well, there is. They change it in the same month, but
Same month. But actually, this is probably the first episode where both Carson and I are wearing shorts. So the weather is fairly nice in Linz, Austria, which is in Upper Austria. I will say here on the west coast of in California, it is not that nice. It's raining again. We had a couple of days of sunshine. Carson, your old Little League, had their opening day. So luckily the sun came out for that. So it's kind of a free form today, I think.
Yeah, it's we'll say it's funny because you right now in the weather here, you get the kind of both ends of what people dress like. So you see people in beanies and sweatshirts and big coats and lawn pants, but you also see people in shorts and t-shirts. So you get a lot of both ends of the spectrum on.
Yeah, I don't think I told you,
right
but it kind of irritated me, and I kind of laughed at some of them. Some are true. It was like the top 10 or 20 things Americans do in Europe that people can tell they're American, and a couple of them were ball caps. But I see a lot of Euros wearing ball caps now. Another one was printed T-shirts with college names on it. And I mean, when you go to Europe and you go to one of those secondhand stores that we've been to, there's, I think, 3 in the neighborhood in Vienna. It's all college T-shirts that the Euros are buying up. Another was fanny bags and shorts.
Those are written by Americans who don't live in Europe. Like those are Americans who are travelers, and we'll say that about their
they're
other
doing
Americans that
a blog
are
or
also
something like that.
traveling.
Yeah. What was the
but
other
they
one?
don't live here, so I see people wearing that stuff every day. It's just.
And they made a comment about Americans wearing shorts. Euros, I don't think wear as many as shorts as much, but they do in the summer. They also wear flip flops, which this person pointed out. So some of them were valid, but most of them were not.
Yeah, I think the flip flops are a lot less. That's for sure.
More sandals,
I don't think
I
of
think.
those.
Yeah.
More sandals and slides.
Yeah.
Sandals definitely more. Flip flops a lot less, I would say.
So for everybody, Carson's, it's evening for him. It's morning. Well, actually, no, it's like noon now. So it's late evening for you. And I know you got some things going on. One of the things I did just kind of want to talk about, we go to a lot of concerts here. We have a lot of venues. Some of our followers from time to time give us tickets. So this week at the last minute, I did get to go see somebody who I think is a great singer. She was on American Idol. I think she won it. A beautiful young girl. She's married to a hockey player. I was just going to say the name, but it looks like you're trying to think who it is.
I was trying to remember if she won.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember.
But I mean, just a talent and a very beautiful young girl, now a beautiful woman. Married an American hockey player. Nashville. What's the hockey team in Nashville?
Nashville
Predators. I think he's retired now, though. But anyway, so we got tickets. I was kind of looking forward to seeing the opening band, a guy named Jimmy Allen. This is all country for you folks.
I have no idea who that
well,
is.
If you listen to his, he's actually got probably 5 or 6 hits. A black country western singer. He has actually been in studio. He does a lot of duets with a lot of different guys, from Tim McGraw to Darius Rucker. Kind of hangs out with those guys. So I think well-known Nashville. Maybe his name's not well recognized, but as far as American radio, people know him. We did get there late.
More recent years?
Oh, yeah. He's a newer singer, up and coming.
Okay. I haven't. It's been almost 2 years now since I've been in the U.S.,
Yeah,
so
so
I haven't listened
I
to the
I
radio in
would
a
be
while.
curious if his songs are popular in at all. You know, it's
No,
weird in Europe. I don't hear a lot of country on the radio, but a lot of people like country for some reason. It
I mean,
seems
I'll hear it from time to time on like a random kind of American music station in
yeah,
like a store or something, but I won't hear like there won't be a store just playing it
right.
like country music normally. Like, it's just
And so the concert was here in Sacramento in our Golden One Arena, which is a techno- technology wise supposed to be one of the most advanced arenas in the world, I guess.
it's a great
Yeah,
great arena.
great
Yeah,
arena. So it was a Jimmy Allen was good. I'd like to see him in a smaller venue where he's the primary act. We got there late, so I didn't see all of it, but we got to hear his most popular song. So, very good show by Jimmy Allen, and then Carrie Underwood, uh, spectacular voice. I mean, I've always said during the show, I'm sitting there thinking, man, I would have loved to see her headline a rock and roll band in the 70s or 80s just to hear her belt out. And then near the end of the show, she
ballad.
comes out and does a bunch of Guns N' Roses songs. And it turns out she's
Oh,
a
interesting.
big Guns N' Roses fan. And guess what? They're going to play. Guns N' Roses is playing Aftershock next year, the big festival. So I
Interesting.
was like, wow, she blew me away with her voice, and also kind of blew me away with the show. And one of the reasons I was surprised because I kind of looked up where she had been playing. She's playing arenas, so she played, I think, San Diego, L.A., Sacramento, Portland, Seattle, all in one week, every night. So I mean, she must have got on the tour bus and just left right away. And then I don't know if she has two setups
Yeah,
that she moves along, but I don't know how they did
yeah,
it.
they
it
have to.
yeah. So she had pyrotechnics. She had aerials. She came out on a kind of a swing over the stage and went to the cheap seat so people could see her. She had a small stage that the aerial dropped her down on so people could see her at the other end of the arena. She had a kind of a catwalk thing that her band played on, some of the members of the band played on. Like I said, pyrotechnics, video. So even if she didn't have a great voice, it was a phenomenal show. Glad I went. Thrilled I didn't have to pay for it, but a wonderful show. I would say, even if you're not a country fan, two thumbs up. Go see her just for the show. If she ever, I don't know if she's big in Europe either, but probably I would think
I mean, she's
she's
amazing,
bridging the country pop.
but as a whole, she's not like I wouldn't say she's a huge artist. I mean, she's big in the country music. Obviously, people know her there, but I wouldn't say in general she's big, and definitely not in Europe.
Well,
Like,
I would say it's Taylor Swift's global, right? She's big in Europe.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
would say she's for people who would have followed the two. I think Carrie Underwood's the bigger talent. I think Taylor Swift's maybe a better songwriter and has capitalized on her career. But Taylor Swift kind of
Ta-
went from country to pop, and I think
yeah,
some
yeah.
people don't like that
Taylor Swift. Yeah,
genre
Taylor Swift
jumping
is a more
pop.
yeah, she's more known on a broader
Yeah,
spectrum. Carrie Underwood is still very much just country music, I think. Um, whereas Taylor Swift is now just a general
yeah.
music artist, like mostly in the pop
And I think
genre.
too, she's so popular, Taylor Swift. People are upset because of the ticket not scandal, but the prices of her tickets were like 5,000 for a seat,
It's
which is
but
unbelievably.
it's interesting. That's that I wouldn't put that on Taylor Swift in the slightest
I
bit.
wouldn't either, but I mean, anytime it's associated with an artist, they get a bad kind of rap for it.
Yeah, but I think it's actually kind of interesting, kind of a good thing because that made it go all the way up to Congress and
Yeah, it
so
made
into the
people
court
look
system. So
because
it's a good thing actually.
that congressman's teenage daughter had to pay 5
Yeah,
grand for a ticket, so that pissed off that congressman. So
yeah, and I think that's a good thing because the more that can happen, that'd be great to
yeah,
break up that concert ticket monopoly that
but for me, maybe an older
is
guy. I mean,
craziness.
Carrie Underwood. I guess I have more. I don't want to say respect for, but I just think she's a phenomenal talent.
She's more to your taste. She's more to your
Taylor
taste.
Swift used to
I
be,
think
but
that's
they're
always.
both successful, very good. So comparison wise, I think
But
she did
but
great.
you're again you
Yes.
prefer country music to pop music, so
Well,
obviously
no,
I
no,
think
you can't really say that because pop music has gone over into rock and pop. Country are all kind of the same now. There's a big thing here about is this true country? There are radio stations that say we're true country, and I go back to my example of this. If the Eagles were a new band today, all their music would be country from uh, Tequila Sunrise to Hotel California,
no, I
easily.
don't believe that.
Think
Alternative.
No,
They'd be
no, no,
alternative.
no, no, not even
Yeah,
close.
they would.
No, they wouldn't. That's an argument for another time, but they would not. They
Yeah,
would
I
be
think they would be
country big
alternative.
time.
I think they would be closer to the like alternative indie folk genre than they would
No,
the mainstream country.
yeah, even the names are all their hits. I mean, you know,
Anyway,
yeah,
I think you like Carrie Underwood over Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift appeals to 14-year-old girls,
yes,
to 10 to 14-year-old girls, and Carrie Underwood appeals to older girls, but also country music fans.
yeah.
So
And
like
one other thing
you're
about
in
the
the
Carrie Underwood show, which kind of surprised me, and I think we spoke about Michael Bublé. So go into the arena, and it's kind of the same crowd. A lot of families with their kids and their daughters. And we
yeah,
had two families by us who were trying to keep track of their little tweener daughters. And I
yikes.
said, so your kids are into Carrie Underwood? And the mom says, oh, yeah, they love Carrie Underwood. And for us, we know she's not going to cuss or say anything stupid on stage, and
Yeah,
it's safe, and we enjoy it too. And then Carrie Underwood is I think she's very religious. She has some religious songs she sang, and I enjoyed that just because it was like kind of listening to gospel a little bit too. So that was the
yeah,
other thing.
yeah. I mean, it's very family friendly, G-rated show. I would
Yeah,
assume.
like the mother
Not
said,
surprising.
it was safe. Although behind us was an asshole that was very drunk, and just
That's
word of
bound to
caution when you
happen.
go to your first concert and you're drinking a lot and you know all the words to somebody's songs, don't sing them because you don't sound very good. So there was a temptation to turn around and start an altercation to get this guy thrown out. But since they were comp tickets, gifted to us by followers,
Yeah,
I
you need
didn't
to
want to
be
do that. Yeah.
nice.
And so moving on. So Carrie Underwood, two thumbs up or whatever kind of icon we want to give her. Last night I went to another concert. This one was a Christmas gift, not not to
Oh,
me, but from me. And my brother decided he would take me. So, uh, and I wanted to go because this is a new arena. You know.
wait,
Oh,
before you
okay.
get into this, he has a Ken Whitwer has a thing about getting himself Christmas gifts that either A, he buys for someone else, but he knows they're gonna come back to him, or B, he puts under the tree and forgets that he got him for himself, and then he gets a gift and he's like, "Wow, this is the perfect gift. Who got this for me?" And completely forgets that he got it for himself. But it's so shocked, and then about 5 minutes later, he'll be like, "Oh my god, I got this for myself 2 months ago."
Yeah, but
So
when you were
that's
in school and they asked you about Christmas traditions, you told them the same story.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's you in a nutshell. You're weird Christmas
But this year we're
gifter.
all at the age it's hard to buy Christmas gifts. So at the last minute, I went out and bought tickets for everybody. But this one I did not buy for myself. I really, I didn't really have an interest, although I like the band. They've been around a long time, and we'll get into who that is. But I didn't mind going because I hadn't been to the new venue that just opened up. We have in the United States, we have Indian casinos. They own land. They build
We've
huge
talked about this
casinos.
before.
Yeah. Oh, we have. Okay. They put in a new
Yeah,
venue. So it's called the venue. They used to have an outdoor arena. So, um, their opening
it's called
weekend.
the venue.
Yes, it's called the venue at Thunder Valley,
They need to call it the Awe venue,
the
the
Ovid.
At
Oh,
Wits End
at what's in
venue.
venue. I will say it is a nice venue. I'm shocked how big it is. It didn't look that big from the outside. Uh, everybody was saying it's much smaller than the old outdoor arena that they put up temporarily, but it's not. Because everybody assumed it was because ticket prices have doubled. Or like when the Eagles came for the opening weekend, it was $2,000 a ticket plus. Bruno Mars was that much, and Santana was a little less. So people were going, they're priced everybody out. But it actually is only 500 seats smaller, but it's built for concerts.
What's the capacity?
4,500, I was told.
Okay.
So like the
And
County Bowl in Santa Barbara.
it's like, stage in front and then just a wrap around
Wraparound, stage in front,
a
floor
third.
seating, and actually seeing that can be taken away if they have a punk concert or something, which they had a reggae concert the night before that I really wanted to go to, and then two mezzanines above that, and it's attached through the
Any like
to the
high
casino.
roller suites?
Yes, they that's why that's the capacity, but I understand obviously they have the high rollers, so they have their own section, but the tribe that owns the casino has their own section, so that takes away a
Oh,
number of
interesting.
seats. Yeah. But
Interesting.
the band that was playing has been around since basically it's formed when I
You
was
were
born.
around.
The Beach
Yeah.
Boys, a very American band, surf music. I really didn't have an interest because we've seen the Beach Boy. You've actually kind of hung
Seen a
out
Beach Boy.
and his sons at a party in Wailea, Hawaii. I think was it Wailea or Bahamas? Out and I
Wailea.
was
Yeah.
disappointed who you partied with, and Billy Preston. I forgot.
Oh yeah.
Um, he was not
And
there.
and to clarify, we didn't party with them. I was like 12 years old or something.
Yeah,
We were just there.
but I mean, he actually. You were dancing at the front of the stage. It was in a small kind of conference room, not room but hall, and he was playing with his son.
It was a dinner, and
Yeah, afterwards
then
dinner dancing, and he came
they
out.
were the
So yeah,
show. Yeah.
but he was not in the band. He was not on the tour. He's still in the group, but not touring anymore. So it was basically Mike Love. Oh God, what's he?
So what was the how many original members are there in total?
Well,
Like
it
from the original band, what was the total number? Six?
five. The brothers.
Five?
Bruce Johnson
And
is considered an original, but he wasn't from the first. Uh, he came later on, I think, in the '60s. But so I guess he's
and
considered
so
original. Um,
so there were two last night?
Yeah, just two, and there a couple, and Mike Love's son, and some of the people. So I didn't want to go because last time we saw the Beach Boys, Mike Love, he, it,
So
it,
it's more like it's the boys
it's
and
more
the
like
beach is
I don't
gone.
want to say a tribute band where a couple of members from the original band show up, but the thing is, you got Beach Boys beach music. People love that. It's kind of like Jimmy
Yeah.
Buffett. People will come out and
Yeah,
see him. Um,
it's
everybody's
they're
singing the
they're a
words.
classic. Well, they're a classic band for tribute bands. Like people
Yeah,
love to see them in tribute.
and they're a classic band for Americana and taking people back. They were original too, somewhat, and then they kind of fought with the
Yeah.
Beatles because the Beatles were coming, the English invasion, and Mike Love kind of discussed that a little bit because they went to India and turned out the Beatles were in India at the same time when they met with the
They
Raj.
lost that battle, sadly to say.
Yeah, I wouldn't say sadly. I mean, it is what it is.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, in the competition, right? The English Invasion versus the California Beach
beach.
Boys,
Yeah,
basically. The English won that battle. So
but in the long run, you got to say, look at the Beach Boys. A couple of them are still touring and playing, and you know, I guess Ringo Starr is still out there, and so is Paul McCartney touring and playing. But
well, there was a rumor I saw. Um,
that they're going to get together again.
but with another band.
The old maybe
Um,
Wings.
well, where's I heard a rumor with like another super famous
Like the
band.
Stones, the Who.
yeah, like the Stones or U2 or
I
something.
could see you too because they like to
Like,
do that kind of stuff. But
but yeah, I heard a rumor. I can't remember where it was. That yeah, the Rolling Stones, and Paul McCartney and possibly Ringo,
yeah, that would be kind of a
are
mega show.
there was like a rumor that they were going to come out with some music. That I think this one around a
well,
few weeks ago, like a month or two
well,
ago.
basically, I've done Ringo Starr's coming to Thunder Valley, the same venue.
Oh, jeez.
So with his band, so yeah, there's a bunch of
I
those.
don't think the Stones. I don't think the Stones are going to come to Thunder Valley. So,
Only if they
or
had
Paul McCartney,
broken up seriously like 20 years ago, and Mick Jagger just never got it together again, he would be touring there
or
now.
half of them
Like,
died
and
years ago.
John Fogerty's coming to this arena too. Because of
Yeah,
Creedence
so
Clearwater.
yeah, for those who don't know, this is the arena for bands that were like popular 20 plus years ago that
60s,
never like
70s,
reemerged.
80s. Yeah. Rudy Valley's
And they could
coming.
be
Chicago's
very
coming.
big, yeah, very big bands,
Yeah.
the Eagles, Chicago, like very big bands, or bands that are more recent that were like kind of one or two hit wonders
Yeah.
that don't really do much anymore.
Third Eye Blind's coming.
Kind of fallen
Train's
off.
coming. Train's fairly
Yeah,
recent.
yeah, the recent Sublime was another one, kind of when we
Yeah.
saw them. But bands that were big but not big enough to go to big arenas and
Well, I think
stadiums
there's
and
so
stuff
much
like that.
competition now too for post COVID to be out touring. It's hard to fill 20,000 seats when you can fill
Yeah,
a 5,000 seat arena that now that's indoors can play all year long. But the Beach Boys
but
was good. It's kind of a sentimental thing. The crowd, definitely, I was one of the younger. You would have been definitely one of the younger. Although in front of me sat a couple, kind of a young guy with dreadlocks, and I was kind of surprised they were there and they were kind of jamming out and rocking to it. And
yeah,
but
yeah.
when Mike Love surprisingly made a jab at Gavin Newsom, our glorious governor of
I
California.
mean, of all the places in California to do that, that's
Sacramento would be the
the
place.
first. Yeah, it's the first. Well, Placer County
Yeah,
would
it's the
be
only
the place to do
Republican
it.
county left, conservative.
So,
But
but yeah,
he said, "Hey, folks, Gavin Newsom, your governor, should spend less time trying to ban gas stoves and more time trying to get a proclamation honoring 60 years of beach music." He was basically, I
I
guess
don't.
they wanted a proclamation about
Oh,
the
that's kind
Beach
of
Boys.
lame.
Yeah,
But real
self
quick,
promoting, but I like it.
yeah, real quick, because I didn't. He tried to ban gas stoves,
Oh yeah, that's
didn't
the
he?
latest thing here in the states. Is our president and Gavin Newsom are both looking to outlaw gas appliances.
Interesting.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
well,
it's
we'll move
crazy.
on to that. That's
But
weird.
so yeah, the crowds definitely tends to be very old. So it was tough for some of the folks getting up and down stairs. And with that, I'll say, Mike Love, you put on a good show. I enjoyed it. The videos were great. Um, I guess keep rocking through the USA. That's all I can say.
Interesting. Well, speaking of crowds, but crowds that can get up and down stairs because it's usually younger crowds. Formula One was this weekend.
I don't know about wealthier. That's for sure.
Yeah, they can get up and down the
Mm-hmm.
stairs much better. I
Race
think
just
in
completed.
general, yeah, I think in general F1 fans are more mobile than Beach Boy fans. But that's a weird thing to bring up. A random transition. Sorry, I needed to make a transition
Yeah,
there,
we need
and
to move on
I didn't
here.
know what
So
to do.
that's good.
Um, but yeah, so the Formula One race number two, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in Jeddah, just wrapped up. Jeddah being the fastest street track on the grid, and the street magician himself, Sergio Perez, had an incredible race,
You know,
taking home number one,
I
pole
actually,
position too.
but his teammate. Where did his teammate start?
Yeah, so Max
That was
had
Austin,
engine
14th,
or
I think.
had drive shaft issues
Drive trip.
in
Yeah,
qualifying, and he started 15th because he didn't set a lap in Q2, so he started 15th. And yeah,
podium
I mean
number
he
two.
podium, but it was very much expected. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I know they were
It's
talking about it
very
too.
much expected. because you can just tell the Red Bull car is just light years ahead of everyone
Yeah, it
else,
is
and
amazing when what is it when the wing comes down.
DRS
Yeah,
driver
DRS.
reaction.
That,
Yeah,
and they
I
actually
was
said
blown by the
it
cars.
adds whatever Red Bull's doing in their design adds
What's
17 miles faster
Yeah,
than when
17
it
miles
comes
an hour.
down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's yeah, when it opens up, it adds a ton more. But like Jeddah, the DRS zone is kind of unfair, and they need to make it smaller. Like it shouldn't be like that. But it's just there's a stat I saw today, and this isn't in qualifying or the race, but in practice three,
Hmm.
which is the nearest to the qualifying session. The gap between Max and Fernando Alonso, so P1 to P3 at the end of FP3 practice 3,
Hmm.
was like point 0.8 set or point 0.9 seconds, and the gap from Alonso to P18 was point 0.8 seconds.
Hmm.
So there was as much of a gap between P1 and 3, which is Red Bull to Aston Martin, with a Red Bull in the middle, to as there was P3 to P18. It's
Yeah.
crazy the difference they have, and
Well,
it's just unbelievable. It's domination.
some of the things that I took away from today's race is Max, unbelievable. I mean, he's a superstar. Red Bull team's unbelievable. They have supercars.
They're,
Congratulations to Sergio and to
they're
the
the only
country of
ones.
Mexico.
Yeah, they're
That
the
was
only ones
great.
fighting each other, and you can
Yeah.
see it too with like Sergio's very apprehensive about like
Yeah, when they
Max
said,
coming up on
"Where's
him.
Max?" Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and the fastest lap stuff, like everyone, like we're all
And
tracking the intervals, and
Max
Max
got the
got it.
fastest lap,
Yeah,
and
and
so he's leading the drivers' cup
yeah, by one
still
point,
by
he's
what
leading the
that one
championship.
point. So Sergio, he would have been leading it.
But
And then
it's
congratulations to
astonishing.
Aston Martin and Alonso
Yeah,
again, podium. Um,
that
your
made a lot
team,
of people happy.
McLaren, they suck.
Oh, they have replaced
Sargent,
Williams.
oh yeah, I mean, Red Bull is so dominating. They were talking about the battle of McLaren
It was so
drivers
it's
at the back of the
embarrassing.
pack.
Yeah, we're battling 15th, 16th, and 17th. Like the 18th is a car that's damaged. 19th and 20th are out. They're not racing
Yeah,
anymore. And the battle is between two McLarens and a Williams for 15th, 16th, and
and
17th
who's the
place.
Williams driver?
It was Logan Sargent at that time. Yep,
Yeah,
the
so I was
American.
actually rooting for Sargent,
Yeah,
one for the
he
USA.
he had a solid race. He had a rough weekend,
Yeah,
and I don't know if you saw this. So he had to get approval to actually race today because in qualifying, he had so many issues. He never set a lap fast enough to match up to the 107% rule, which says that
yeah.
you need to have a lap that is 100%, 107% or less of the pole sitter's time, and he never did that.
Hmm.
So he had to get special approval to actually race today. Uh,
Hey, one other thing with Alonso, the penalty.
yeah,
Uh, I turned off and came in here and came into the studio for the podcast, and they're still debating it that because the rear jack was touching the car during the 5-second penalty, it may have eliminated that penalty and
it
added
was.
on another penalty.
So I just googled this. It looks like he did get another penalty, and he got a 10-second penalty. So he came in
Oh, so
fourth.
he's fifth.
Fourth.
Oh,
So
fourth.
so
So
at the
that puts
last
Hamilton.
No, so at the last lap, he drove a fast lap, and it put 5.1 seconds between him and George Russell.
Georgia.
But
Okay.
then there was 5.1 seconds between George Russell and Hamilton. So
Yeah.
Alonso got a 10-second penalty and dropped him back behind George, but in front of Hamilton because of that last lap he set.
So George Podium just didn't get the
The
celebration at the
celebration
end of the
on the
race.
podium, yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
that's cool. That's mean. That's
Yeah.
cold.
So I mean, I bet
Well,
he's
Alonso
happy for
ran a
that.
great race.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
but
two races in a row.
that takes away Alonso's 100th.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, so Alonso had his 100 podium,
Uh,
and then it's gone. That sucks.
that should make the next race interesting.
That's
One of
actually
the
interesting because that's happened 2 weeks in a row now, where a driver has gotten a penalty, went to serve it, and then something's
yeah.
gone awry and gotten another penalty of 10 seconds. So
There seems like this season there's so much more nitpicky technical stuff going on already.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
been a weird season. Like the Red Bull dominance kind of made sense, but they've also have some. They've had the reliability issues. Like there was reliability potential issues this race for
Yeah.
both cars. There's stuff, and then like Ferrari, nothing. They're fifth and sixth. Like they're just
Yeah.
not doing anything, or sixth and seventh.
I'm
Not
trying to
even
think
in the
who's
race.
the new principal.
Frederic Vasseur. He was the Alfa
Yeah, so
Romeo
he's
principal. But
well, he's
they've
not
had a
doing
lot of
anything.
engineers depart the team and move to other teams too. Like there's some
Yeah,
shifting going around there, and then
Ferrari
yeah. So Ferraris have, I mean, they just weren't even
in
competitive.
trouble.
Yeah, and you, like the big team uproar has been with Mercedes. Right, Mercedes is kind of blown up. So I don't know if you know.
Toto's got to be like not sleeping at night because he's wound so tight when he's successful.
Yeah. And but they've already said they're gonna make huge changes. I think go to the Red Bull side pod design and kind of abandon. But it's crazy
Oh, that
because
will kill Toto. He'll be
well, he's the
pissed
one
having
that
to
has
do.
said that, and it's kind of crazy because
Yeah, but
they're they're obviously not fighting for number one, but they're they're fighting for number two and three and four, and I
yeah,
think they're doing that especially because it's another Mercedes car that's ahead of them, i.e., the Aston Martin is very much
right.
built in the same way as Mercedes. They share wind tunnels and share a lot of parts. And so to see the Aston running in front of their car with a different aerodynamic design, I think has been like eye opening to them very much
Yeah,
so. And then
you know
to have
the
Ferrari not there, they Mercedes got to be kicking themselves because they have the second place if they had a faster car.
right. One thing I took away from this race, and it's been bugging me for years. Whenever I watch the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, obviously it's at night, so it's very lit up. It is a gorgeous looking track. I'd love to go, and I could never figure out what bothered me about it. And I think it doesn't look real. It looks CGI. It looks like a game, and you never see the people in the
No
stands. Like
stands.
most races, you see smoke bombs going off for Max. You see people cheering and
You
screaming.
get 400,000
During
people in
the
a
race,
weekend.
you don't see
Yeah, it's
anybody.
weird. That's
You see dots in the stand that could be cutouts, like during COVID. The only time you see people is at
well,
the
you
end.
see
And
this like the people in the suites like above the hospitality sections. Like I don't see
yeah,
grandstands.
but they could be cutouts where in a normal race you see people cheering, screaming, flags. You see the Ferrari section, you see the
Yeah,
McLaren guys, you see everybody's sectioned off, having a good time, drinking beer,
there's
getting
no like
crazy for
massive grandstand section or anything like that.
no. I mean, so it could be a race with no fans and nobody would know
That's
it.
what it so it kind of and hopefully it's not going to be like this, but it you know we have tickets to it, but it's a similar kind of thing with the Vegas track where it's a street circuit. But I assume because they don't
Yeah,
have a lot of stand like official F1 stands, so the hotel stands have to make up for it, right?
and they'll be open. You'll be able to see the people in the stands. And I think in Vegas, that's going to be part of the whole excitement of the race is the
It's
people.
yeah, it's a weird setup because if you don't know about F1 Las Vegas, there's not a lot of official F1 stands. They only
Uh-uh.
cover
We are in the grandstand, the
yeah,
one.
there's
Yeah,
actually no grandstands, official F1 grandstands on the strip. They're all off strip, so it's kind of
they're
weird.
all
Yeah,
MGM. Yeah,
so that is all. If there is stands there, it's all to be covered by the hotel stands, whatever they do. I don't know
yeah.
exactly what they're doing. But yeah,
And I think they're just tilt up temporary stands, so you're not going to have the large cover. So you're going to see the crowd's going to be
yeah,
exposed.
but
We're in Saudi Arabia.
yeah,
It's
that's
not.
always
You don't see
that's weird with
anybody.
Saudi Arabia, and especially it it's kind of yeah, given it's a street circuit, I guess that it's to more, but yeah, it is weird. It's just different. Like with I'm sure you saw the drone shots of like the drone
Yeah, the
swarms.
drone.
It's super cool, but
It's that's what's amazing, and I think that's when I kind of realized it's all technology, it's all show. There's not a lot of
Like
personality,
there's like a
and
sign in the water, the buildings light up in sync with each other, the drones are flying around, like there's all this like really cool stuff
like
around.
it's a video
Yeah,
game. It's a CGI
I
video game kind of thing.
fantastic.
And I had to laugh. Your buddy, who's the British guy that goes through the paddock looking for
Oh
celebrities.
yeah, yeah.
I wasn't really paying attention, but the one guy he found of all people is Will
Yeah, they showed him
Smith.
a couple times on there.
And I'm thinking Will Smith must, his PR guy must have said, you need to show your face at something upscale athletic event. Go to Saudi Arabia and go to the
He
Grand
was
Prix.
hanging out with the president, bin Salman, I think his name is, the FIA president. So yeah,
Oh,
that's
really?
I'm pretty sure he was hanging out with the FIA president. So it was interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I saw him. He's the only celebrity I recognize. So that was a little bit
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, overall, yeah, race wise, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 kind of race. Um,
I actually kind of enjoyed it because of the stuff in the back of the pack. I mean, first, and there was excitement between the Red Bull
yeah,
drivers. Shocking, your McLaren
yeah.
guys.
I don't know
Uh,
what to do with them.
I I was rooting for Sargent, the Haas guys. The way there was some entertainment
Yeah, it's like
value
it
to
was
it, I
like
guess.
segmented into like you had the Red Bulls racing each other. You had Alonso racing the Mercedes, but at a distance, right? Not like next to each other, racing
Yeah,
them from 5 seconds apart. And then you had
right.
like the Ferraris just doing their own thing. Like no one was around them. They weren't catching anyone. No one was close to them.
Tell you the truth, that was the one team
There
I
was
wasn't.
nothing
There
about
was
them.
nothing to
Yeah, they're
watch.
boring.
It was
And then you had the rest of the
yeah.
pack like doing their thing. Like from after Ferrari on down was kind of interesting because there was stuff going on. But
The only interesting thing about Ferrari for me this race was I forgot the new principal. They showed him
this
for a
year,
little bit, didn't really talk about him, and then switched
I
to
will say
something
they got
else.
super unlucky because they actually had the correct strategy today. They just got unlucky with that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
On the
they
tires,
had the correct strategy. They just had the unlucky
safety
safety car.
car.
So it
Yeah,
was like the opposite. Like I don't want to say it
yeah,
was the opposite, but like their strategy was good. It's just they just purely unlucky, and that kind of hurt them a lot. Which
yeah.
that was their downfall last year, and now their downfall, at least this year, has been a slow car and bad luck. Uh, besides the
Right.
reliability with Leclerc earlier. So um,
Well, that's our take on the race. What's the next
we
race?
go. So after Jeddah, I think they go to Europe. Oh no, Australia. They go to Australia. Yep. So Piastri's home
Oh, wow.
race.
Okay.
Where he's gonna get fight for
Yeah.
16th or 15th again. Yeah, I don't. I think McLaren's
All right.
they have a couple more races till their big upgrades come. So until then, it's just gonna be a disaster for McLaren. Uh, yeah. So with
Yeah, I
that
think you're right.
bombshell of actually that's not a bombshell news. It's just everyone knows McLaren sucks right now. We'll end it there. We'll leave you on a sad note. Uh, yeah. So I'll rock the McLaren hat, but not proudly right now.
Uh, Racing sad note for the McLaren team. Red Bull's great, but it's spring in
Yeah, I guess
Austria.
that's a
How's
good one.
that for
So,
ending on a positive note? It's spring in Austria, and California
yeah,
has
you have
plenty of water.
record-breaking snow levels. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
Double
phenomenal.
the
I
snow.
love it.
But
Some
with
people
that,
don't.
one to hear. Thank you for listening. Catch us again soon after this episode on any of your favorite podcast channels. Also on YouTube and Facebook and
Hmm.
maybe an Instagram account coming soon. But we'll see if you're up for doing some Instagram. But one to hear. See
Yep.
you later.
Cheers. Bye.